Hi all, welcome to this video. This is Anjali. Right now, the world is fighting a pandemic and so much has changed from what it was a year ago. Work or study from home has become the new normal and most of the meetings and classes are happening virtually. Right now or even later, virtual interactions are going to continue. We rely on a lot of online meeting apps or platforms such as MS Teams, Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, etc. for our professional online interactions. However, if we are not careful about certain things during our online meetings, then we may end up looking unprofessional or might even get embarrassed. Today, we shall discuss some of the tips that would be useful for you while interacting online. The first point to remember is to choose your username and profile picture carefully. The first thing people notice about you will be your username and picture. So you need to ensure that those look professional and not casual or inappropriate. Have a look at the following usernames. Out of these, which one look appropriate for a job interview or a classroom interaction? The first one doesn't give any idea about the name of the person, and the teacher or the interviewer may not be able to identify who the person is. It looks good to be used as a private Instagram username, but it doesn't look appropriate for a classroom interaction. Your usernames can be used to build an entire profile about you. It is your identification. It is used to build a unique digital profile about you specifically. Even though the second username has a name, it looks too casual to be taken for a professional use. The third one also doesn't contain the name. However, if you're someone who works as a beauty blogger, then it might look appropriate. But for any other situation, it is not relevant. Especially if you're going for a job interview or to join a webinar on recent trends in teaching. The last one contains what looks like the initials of the person as well as a name and looks appropriate for any professional interaction. So, the first point to remember is to use your real name and, if possible, add your initials. If that is already taken, then you can use a relevant qualifier. For instance, use your first name, last name, and year of birth, or you can use your college name along with your name and your initials. Pick a username that matches what you go by professionally. Next comes your picture. Gone are the times when people used to put pictures of flowers and film stars as their profile picture. Back then, most of the social media platforms were used for personal interactions only. However, now the scenario has changed and it has taken a more serious turn. You are expected to add your own image as the image of your profile. This would help the other person identify you, especially if you are not switching on the video. Another reason why it is important is to help you express yourself and also to help others to develop the right impression of you. You have got control over the images you put online of yourself, so you may as well use them to your benefit. Out of the 4 pictures given, which one do you feel looks professional? Yes, it is the last one. The first picture doesn't show the face of the person as it is hindered by the goggles. The second picture looks too casual for a formal picture. The third picture is inappropriate for an official interaction. The fourth picture looks appropriate for a professional interaction. The next point is your background. Your background speaks a lot about you. Ensure that you have a neat and tidy background. Don't have personal belongings on show. Understand that clutter is distracting. You can even blur the background if that option is available in the app that you're using. The next point is to use the right wall as your backdrop. A plain wall is always preferred because it is less distracting. Also, while you choose your wall to go as your backdrop, ensure to keep the background sober. A neutral or pastel color background is always preferred over a dark or fluorescent background. The next point is to make use of background options in apps. It saves that extra time in organizing your background if you are in a hurry. However, be mindful while choosing the background and do not choose anything that looks funny or inappropriate. The next point is to make sure that there are no background noises. Background noises are a big no. It can be really distracting to the listener. Sometimes your mic might pick up the background noises more sharply than your own voice, making it difficult for the listener to focus on what you're saying. The next point is to keep your kith and kin informed. This might look obvious, but it is a really important point. You should pre-inform your family or your roommates about the online interaction and request them to keep silence while the online interaction is happening. It is really distracting when someone walks behind you or plays a TV or mixer during the online interactions. To ensure this, you may keep your doors closed or choose a quiet and peaceful location where other noises will not be heard. You may also use your headphone or earphones to channelize your voice. Next comes the camera. The first point to remember here is to ensure proper lighting. Lighting is the most important part as far as your camera positioning is concerned. If the light source is from behind or from the sides or from above, it can be very unflattering and it can cast shadows on your face. If there is a backlight, then it will create a halo around your head, making it difficult for the other person to see you. So the key is to always sit facing the light source. If there is too much light in front of you, then you may use curtains or blinds to mellow it down. The next point is to choose the right table to sit at. Find the right table with appropriate height to sit at so that it becomes easy for you to place your gadget and interact without any disturbances or discomfort. Another point to remember is to not hold your gadget in your hand, especially if you're using your mobile phone for a formal interaction. You may use a pile of books or a mug as a pop socket holder to make sure that your hands are free. Next, keep the camera at the right angle. The wrong angle of camera can make your face look different and can be very unflattering at times. Try moving your camera angle and find the one that projects your best angle. Position your camera slightly above you, looking down at the distance as if looking at the other person or the audience face to face. After camera angle comes the distance. Choose the right distance for your camera. The camera should be neither too close to your face nor too far away. that should be about 1.5 to 3 feet away. Your gadget should be at eye level and only glance at them once in a while. If your camera is too close, then it will make your head look big and body small. And if it is too far away, then it will make your body look large and face will look too small. Another point to remember is that there should be no glare on the spectacles. If you're someone who wears glasses, then the camera angle and distance should ensure that it is not casting a glare on the spectacles. Next, we have some quick points to keep in mind about how to dress and groom while your video is on. Point number 1 is to dress professionally from head to toe, or at least from head to waist. Wear something formal, not too casual or laid back. Avoid clothing that is distracting or brightly colored. Groom your hair and beard. If you have long hair, tie it properly. Do not wear too much of makeup. At the same time, there should not be a shining face. You should not have that straight after waking up look on your face. Body language is very crucial in communication. The belief is that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is the tone of voice, and 7% is the actual words spoken. However, when it comes to an online interaction, we have very limited scope for expressing through our body language. However, you may keep the following tips in your mind to make your communication through online more effective. The first point is to make sure that your audience is engaged. And in order to do that, look at the camera and not on the screen. Now, this is equivalent to eye contact in an actual situation. Next point is to watch your body language. Have good posture and hand gestures. Be aware of your expressions while your camera is on. Since the gadgets are so much part of our lives, we tend to forget that we are in a professional scenario and might end up oblivious of our gestures and expressions. This can create a wrong impression about us and hence should be avoided. Try to be conscious of and avoid any involuntary actions such as playing with your hair or scratching your head or face while you're presenting or talking to someone virtually. So those were some tips to keep in mind while you are preparing and presenting something online. Hope you will follow these in your online interactions. Thank you and all the best.